Hey BookTube, this is Love It or Leave It. I'm Jen and I talk about audiobooks, but today I am going to do a book unhaul. I have run out of room on my shelves and something has to give. I saw Lisa at Books and Smiles do a wonderful series that she started called Love It or Leave It. And she went through and cleared out books on her shelves and I thought, I love that. So I commented on her video and I said, I'm totally stealing this. Totally. I am thieving it away and I'm gonna do my own. And she goes, go for it, go for it. We all have too many books. I mean, let's be real. And you know, I think that it is worth mentioning that when I first got into BookTube, I got into the culture of BookTube. And part of the BookTube culture is that we like collecting books. And there is some degree of acclimating to the culture where you buy a lot of books. You want to own the books. And I am certainly one of those people. I mean, with me, everything is go big or go home. So if I like books, I want all the books. Well, you know, I've kind of progressed in my YouTube journey to get to the point where I'm very comfortable with only owning the books that I really want to own, that I want to reread or that I loved on audio and I want a copy of them in print. And to be honest, I had to go through my shelves and this isn't even all my shelves. This is just the stack that I had at the end of the hallway there on the floor. And so I've gone through and pulled out ones that I don't want anymore. I need to pass them along to someone else who will enjoy them. So I am going to go through and feel free in the comments, you know, to say, oh my gosh, no, you can't get rid of that one. Or yes, definitely get rid of that one. So I'm just going to start going through them. This is Christmas with Holly, previously published Christmas Eve at Friday Harbor by Lisa Kleypas. I read this last Christmas and it was very cute and I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to need for it to stay around. The Palace of Tears by Alev, Lytle, Croutier, I think. This is a book that I bought as a library discard and I wanted to turn it into a book that wasn't a library discard anymore, like take the plastic off and stuff like that. And so I did, but I don't know that I'm ever going to read this, so yeah. Second Chance Boyfriend. This is by Monica Murphy, and this is a cute duology. It is 1 Week Girlfriend, and then this is the second book, Second Chance Boyfriend, and it was okay. I don't have the first book, and so why would I keep this? I mean, it was okay. I'm probably never going to reread it. Grand Central, which is Original Stories of Postwar Love and Reunion. It is a book of short stories that I picked up at the Dollar Tree for $1. I thought it looked really good, and I still think it looks really good. And it's a beautiful book with these gorgeous French flaps and deckled edges, but I'm probably never going to get time to read it. And it's not going to be something that I reach for. It sat on my nightstand for a while, and I just never did. So time to pass that along. An Unexpected Song by Iris Johansen. This, the only reason I own it is because I wanted to turn it into another book. Like I wanted to do a video on how to de-libraryify your books. And so I picked up just a random book. And this was one. And I really did get pretty far. I put new end papers on and I was starting to get rid of the stamps and I took all the plastic off and yeah, that's about as far as I got. So I don't need this book. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I really liked her first book, but I tried this one on audio and I didn't like it. I picked it up in print and I still didn't like it. So I know it's probably not a popular opinion, but oh well. So I'm going to pass that one along. Brain on Fire by Susan Cahalan is a great book about a woman who had a virus, kind of like encephalitis, but it produced psychotic behavior in her. And so it took a while to diagnose. Great story, nonfiction. Okay, great. Somebody else needs to enjoy that. Mystic City by Theo Lawrence is a gorgeous cover by. Terrible. Terrible YA story. It's dystopian, whatever. Badly done. One Tiny Lie by K.A. Tucker. This, you know, I've read, I think, all of this series by K.A. Tucker, which is the 10 Tiny Breaths series, but I only own this book. So why? Why? I mean, if I owned the whole series, that'd be great, but I don't even like all the books. So yeah, that needs to go somewhere else. Curtsies and Conspiracies. I'm pretty sure I picked this up when I was in Alaska a couple of years ago. This is by Gail Carriger, and it is book 2 in the Finishing School series. And I don't know if I'll ever read that series. This might be one that I'm sorry that I got rid of. I don't know, but I like her series, The Parasol Protectorate, but this isn't something that I reach for automatically. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pass this one along. My whole Divergent trilogy, this just needs to go live somewhere else. Those are beautiful books, but I don't need to own them anymore because I didn't really love them to begin with. Transparent by Natalie Whipple. I don't know if this is available on audio. It looks fairly interesting, and so I debated about it. It's about a girl who's invisible, but I'm not sure. I don't know that I'm ever going to sit down and read the print books. So yeah, there you go. Stolen by Melissa de la Cruz and Michael Johnston is book 2 in the Heart of Dread series. I really like this series, but I just have this book already. This is a duplicate. Gorgeous cover. Troubling a Star by Madeleine L'Engle is yet another library book that I just randomly bought. It was a library discard that I tried to turn into something else. And I did, again, put new end papers on, took the plastic off. Yes, well, whatever. Probably never going to read it. If you want to walk on water, you got to get out of the boat. I think we have like 4 copies of this around. This is by John Ortberg. It's nonfiction, it's Christian, and he is amazing. Even if you are not a Christian, you know, you don't subscribe to any of that, this is still a great book with great concepts in it. Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Niffeneger. The reason I picked this up was because I loved The Time Traveler's Wife by her, but I've read the synopsis of this 2 or 3 times, and I don't know what possessed me to buy it. I don't know. It was pretty, it was cheap. I don't know. I'm never going to read this. No, probably not. Never. Local Girls by Alice Hoffman is just, you know, I keep collecting Alice Hoffman books because I do like her writing, but they're everywhere. So why do I need to own every single one? I need to pick and choose and be more discretionary when I buy her books. And so they're just crowding my shelves. I don't need all of these Alice Hoffman books. And maybe someday I will want them all, but you know, not right now. My Antonia by Willa Cather. This is a book I read in high school and I loved. And so when I saw it, I picked it up. But this copy has been highlighted. Somebody else probably had to read it in high school. And I don't know if I'm ever going to read it again. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but yeah, no. Angel Fall and World After are both by Susan E. And these are gorgeous books in perfect condition. But I didn't love this series. I really didn't. It's post-apocalyptic where angels have taken over the world. I wasn't in love with the characters. I didn't like some of the stuff that happened. This is a gory, bloody series. I mean, ugh. And I thought the ending was not so great. So yeah, these need to go somewhere else. Wildfire by Karsten Knight was a total cover buy. This is an interesting book about which involves a lot of mythologies from around the world, and it's YA, so it's kids at a camp who they're all part of these mythologies. Like one is the god of Maui is one of them. The main character I think is Polynesian, and then there's one is Scandinavian, and there are some other ones. But I just wasn't that impressed with the story or the book. Beautiful book, but no, and it's not on audio, so no. Black City and Phoenix, which are books 1 and 2 in the Black City trilogy by Elizabeth Richards. This is a YA dystopian with vampires, and it was okay. The second book was okay. The third book was just dumb. I don't have the third book. It's called Wings, but I wasn't all that thrilled about this series anyway, but they are pretty books. Written in My Own Heart's Blood by Diana Gabaldon. I just have 2 of these, so duplicate copy that of course I bought because I didn't realize I had it. Hunting Lila and Losing Lila. These are by Sarah Alderson, and I thought these were going to be great. I ordered them from Amazon thinking, cool, this is paranormal, YA, girl on the run, she has special powers. And Sarah Alderson is a Brit who set this story in the US, but she uses a whole lot of British terms. Like, she wasn't thinking American, she was thinking British. So I would be reading along and run across a British term and I would think, what is that? And I don't want to have to go look up all the slang terms for things when the story is set in the US. Now, had the story been set in Britain or the UK, you know, I would have been totally fine with that. But I thought, I don't think so, no. The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness. This was also at the Dollar Tree for $1, and while I like Patrick Ness's Chaos Walking series, I don't know that I'm a huge fan of his other writing, which you'll see in a minute, but I don't know that I'm ever going to pick this up. I don't know. It's a small book, and maybe I should debate about this one, but I don't know. It's an odd book, and so I don't think I'm ever going to read it, so it needs to go somewhere else. The Fox Inheritance by Mary E. Pearson is one of the books in the Adoration of Jenna Fox trilogy. And I loved the first book. I didn't really care for the second book, never read the third, and so why do I own this? I like the first book. That's another conclusion that I've reached, is that I don't have to own all the books in a series if I don't like them all. So I am sticking with that. Survive by Alex Morel is an excellent book. This was a 5-star book for me when I read it a couple of years ago. I don't know that I'm ever going to reread it. It's about a girl who, people in her family have committed suicide a lot. So she's tried it several times, was sent to a rehab facility, and she's flying back east to see her mother for the holidays, and she's determined that she is going to kill herself. So she goes into the airplane bathroom to do it, and as she's in there, the plane crashes. So she and one other person survive, and so then the story becomes all about whether life is worth living and the survival instinct and all of that kind of stuff. Excellent book, excellent book. But I just am never going to reread it, so I think somebody else needs to enjoy that. The One by Kira Cass is a book that I actually went and spent money full price because I wanted to know how the story ended. This is Guilty Pleasures for all of us. It's the Selection series, and this is the 3rd book. And this is the only book in the series that I own. Even if I owned the whole series, I think I'd probably give it away because while it has its appeal, I don't need to own it. I just don't. Back to Patrick Ness. I have a signed 1st edition copy of The Rest of Us Just Live Here, which is a YA novel. There's his signature. Found this at Target. It was a great price. Read the book, and I thought, I don't even like this book. It's just kind of strange. Yeah, it wasn't for me. Lullaby by Amanda Hawking is a signed copy. And this was sent to me by a friend. She sent me a bunch of signed books, which a lot of them are in here. This is part of a series, a YA series about mermaids, and I don't think I'm ever going to read it. I just don't think I will. Blue Screen by Dan Wells is a book about virtual reality, and it's even signed to me. This was a gift from my good friend Karen, and I love Dan Wells' Partial series. It's back here, it's right here. This, couldn't get into it. It's all about virtual reality, and I just didn't care for it. So why keep it if I didn't like it? The Goddess Inheritance, which is by Amy Carter. And I read the 1st book in this trilogy. It's a Persephone and Hades retelling. It's YA. Didn't like the 1st book. Didn't want to continue with it. It's great that it's a signed copy, but yeah, I don't care. Hunt by, I can never pronounce this guy's name, Andrew Fukuda. It is the 1st in a YA series, which is dystopian. This is an autographed copy, and I don't know. I have not picked this up. I don't know that the premise really grabbed me at all. This is one that I'm debating on. I'm still kind of up in the air, but I've put it in the box, kind of leaning towards, yeah, it needs to go somewhere else. Icons by Margaret Stoll. I've read this and it was pretty decent. The thing is, I'm never going to read it again. The second book in this series, I didn't like at all. It was crazy. It went off some weird direction that I just didn't care for. So yeah, I don't care about that enough to keep it. And then Mafia Girl. This is by Deborah Blumenthal. Yet another of the autographed copies. Can you see that? Which is great, except I don't like books about the mafia. So that's just not going to work for me. So that is phase 1 of Love It or Leave It. I did not love these books, so they are leaving me. If you disagree with any of these books leaving me, then by all means, let me know. And I'll be back again at some point in the future with another one of these unhauls. So, you know, as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So let's talk about that in comments. And that is it for now from me. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.